TFL EV is brought to you by Flow Charger, maker of reliable, high-quality charging stations for your electric vehicle. Hey guys, as you know, Hyundai has been on a tear with electric cars. This is, of course, the Ioniq 5. Over here is the upcoming Ioniq 6. But Hyundai didn't fly me out here to Berlin to check out those cars. No, they flew me out here to check out this one. It's the brand new Kona Electric. And you may be asking yourself, why not the Ioniq 3? Why the Kona Electric? And that is a good question. Maybe in the next generation. But this is the brand new Kona EV. And as you can tell, they've changed the design of it. And I like it, especially in this kind of purplish color. I'm not a big fan of purple. One of the coolest design features, if you look right there, there's a little bit of a Z that goes right through the door. So in this video, we're going to do a complete walk around of the new Kona EV. We're going to talk about all the stuff we know and a lot of the stuff we don't know, because this is going to be officially unveiled at the New York Auto Show, I believe. But I'm here in Berlin getting a little sneak peek at it of the European version. So some of the things I know are coming to America and some things I don't know. So let's start with a big difference from the old one to the new one, and that is the wheels and tires. Now we're looking at 19s, and designers love 19s because they make the car look more purposeful. And of course, speaking of design language, what is kind of the design language of Hyundai now is these little pixels, right? Many, especially European car companies, have this kind of nesting doll look, right, where the design of the 3 Series is similar to the 5 Series and so on and so forth. Not with Hyundai. What Hyundai has done is they said the base is like a chessboard piece, but the top is different. So those pixels, that's your base. That signifies it's an electric Hyundai. But the actual design of the car is different. So the lead designer said that this would be the knight in the typical chess set. And of course, we've got the charging port right there. And some of the numbers I'm going to give you, we're not sure, but we can kind of guess at it from the outgoing Kona EV. So I believe the new one will stick to 100 kilowatts of fast charging, which is similar to the outgoing one. A battery size of about 65 kilowatt hours and a range of around 260 miles. Now that's a guess, so don't hold me to it, but I think with a little bit more horsepower, 20 more horsepower, a little bit more weight, and a battery that's comparable to the outgoing model, those numbers might prove to be true. So let's look under the hood, because this is a front-wheel drive model. There will be also a traditional ICE internal combustion engine model that will be similar in terms of the powertrain that the current ICE model have, I believe. But here we're looking at the EV, and there's a little bit of a frunk here, enough to, let's say, hold some takeout that you don't want smelling up your car. And this Kona EV will also have vehicle to load, so you will be able to use it to plug in your radio at the beach if that's your thing. Now, in terms of availability, Hyundai says third or fourth quarter of this year as a 2024 model. So let's take a look at the inside. I was speaking with the designer, and he said that one of the things they were going for with this new Kona was making it a little bit more upmarket, making it a little bit more premium. I think you'll agree that they probably did that. And the other thing they did was give a little bit more space. So it's a little bit wider, a couple inches wider and a couple inches longer to give a little bit more room, especially in the back. Now this competes with cars kind of in that, well, if you're inside the automotive world, it's a B segment crossover. So HR-V, Taos, Mazda MX-30. Yeah, am I saying that right, or is it CX-30? I always get those two mixed up. Anyway, so think small crossover, Corolla Cross, and you know, a vehicle that, especially in Europe, has become a very popular segment, because this here would be a big European family mover, not in America, or maybe it isn't. I don't know. I'll leave that to the Europeans. We have a full big screen, 12.3 inches. We have, look at this, real buttons. Check it out. Button for volume, button for tuning. And of course, it's a separate HVAC, as well as heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel. And that's kind of cool. I think that changes from power to power and like Apple CarPlay. In the Ioniq, there's this kind of stock as well that moves the car into drive. On this vehicle, they've kind of made it not as stodgy. Ioniq has this big round gear lever. This one's kind of more square. I kind of like it. I think it's kind of cool. I'm not pressing the brake because I don't want to fly out of here. And the other cool thing, this is probably the fastest cup holder in the West. So if you got a hot cup of Starbucks, all you do is push that. Look how quick that comes out. Let me show you. Do it again. Look at that. Boom. That is pretty cool. And of course, over here you have cameras that show you your blind spot. So that's something that Hyundai has been doing for a while. Lane keep, auxiliary proximity control for how far you want to stay. Not level 3 in any stretch of the means, any stretch of the imagination, autonomy, but nevertheless, kind of what you've come to expect. I believe that's wireless charging. And if you're wondering about pricing, not yet been announced, but I bet you it's going to be very similar to the outgoing model, which is, 33 to 40-ish range, depending on how you spec it. Very nice materials on the inside. Leather here, let's see how I fit. Give me a chance to sit behind myself. I always love this feature where Hyundai does these power controls on the inboard side so that the driver, or in this case, the back seat passenger, can move the seats back and forth. I think that's really nice. Small sunroof, so if you're expecting like a Tesla-like sunroof, you're not going to get that. And for me, being 6'2", I am pretty tall. I do fit pretty well. A little tight on, leg room, but keep in mind, like I said, even though they made it a little bit longer, it's still a pretty small car. I also like the lighting in there. I bet you can change that, but that's pretty cool. Now, one of the things I really like is right there. Check it out. Yep, 3-way or 3-level heated seats in the back. Nice feature, especially in Colorado where it gets very cold. So let's look at how much space we have in the back here. I do love this. The big Kona, like I said, become a kind of a style thing. More pixel design language, yeah, pretty hefty amount of space here. I could see like a baby stroller. That's probably going to be a spare tire, but I could see a baby stroller, maybe a bike if you fold the seats down. Pretty roomy actually. And the other cool thing, which is kind of cool from a design standpoint, is this bright work that kind of comes up, sweeps up, and turns into the spoiler. Nice touch, very elegant. Now, is it just me, but if I look at the car like this, do you see like a Star Wars droid in that? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I just kind of saw that, thought I'd point it out. I thought it was kind of fun. But certainly very different styling. Now, when the Kona first came out, I went on the launch of the vehicle in Kona. One of the things that was unusual about it was, of course, that this used to be the headlight and this used to be the marker lights. Now, of course, this prominent bar is a marker light, and of course, this is the headlight. And that design language has become kind of ubiquitous. I think the Cherokee actually started it way back in the day. Ironically or interestingly, like I said, the charge port's on the front here, but if you look at those cars, the charge ports tends to be on the back. And I think I like the front because it lets you just kind of pull up to a charger and fast charge and not have to deal with trying to back up, which is what you'd have to do if the charging cable were there. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. This is going to get officially introduced, I think, for the US market at the New York Auto Show, which is coming up pretty soon. But this, like I said, has been a sneak peek. A lot of the numbers I am guessing at. So the only real number I can tell you is it's probably going to be available, like I said, third or fourth quarter of this year as a 2024 model. And certainly, the look is the look. This is not a pre-production version. This is the one that's going to get built and sold here in Europe and, of course, in America. As always, if you want to see the N-line with the internal combustion engine, I did a video profiling that as well. It's at all TFL, or you can head on over to TFL Car on YouTube. Thanks for joining me, guys. I will see you next time from hopefully back in Colorado. Ciao.